Oh, good morning. Sorry. We're live, are we? Let's see. Oh, we've got Silver Moon and Happink. Two people. Lovely. Good morning to you all. Welcome to welcome to Jamstars Corner. Bit of a. I went out last night. Um, I went to a show, and so I just woke up and quickly ran to the computer, and here we are. So, for, like, let me just catch up with a couple of the Jam Stars. How are we all? How good? Yeah, you must, yeah. So the audio is working, everything's working because I just saw a little message from Happink. So, yes, good morning, everybody. Hello, wherever you are. Yeah. Silver just said, get yourself a coffee. Uh, Look, I will. But yeah, it's okay for the moment. Um, I thought today, so I've started the process of doing videos, like in retrospect, going back to, there's two videos that I started with, 2024 and the jam jar. So it's very interesting, like, because I sort of, just as a little side thing, as I've started to do the videos, I did refer to the cards just to get a bit of an energy reading. And it's very interesting how the cards and the video kind of connect. So let's just go through those two videos. So one was that, now very interesting, on my YouTube at the moment, the first videos that are recommended to me are videos that I'm subscribed to, like, content creators that I'm subscribed to, channels, but they seem to be like 2 to 3 to 4 years old. And I didn't know that. Like, I think there's been a shift or a change in YouTube at the moment. Something happened recently, because that never used to happen. I mean, they were recommended, but it's usually, new to me, like new to you, those videos. So when this TRG video came up about 2014, I was very, like, I was sort of taken back, but I have noticed yesterday the same thing. Like, there are other people's videos, bookworm videos, HG tutor videos, but they were old, like, which isn't a problem. It's just that a lot of the time I forgot, what that I'd seen them, etc. So it's good to go back and watch them. But isn't that kind of strange that that's why Jamstars Corner kind of came around, was to look at things in retrospect and go back and sort of do a revision. And now, for some reason, like, those kind of videos are being presented to, I don't know, that I don't understand how what are these people called, the AI, the algorithm works. But it is very interesting. So I wanted to say with the TRG video that she really, like, that was kind of a really amazing video to see, like, 2 years later. That little video of Shapey, Meghan Markle at in that doing that interview with the Ukrainian university, and for them to sort of, little slips of the tongue, like saying, thank you for contacting us, etc. So you could see that in 2024 that she was really trying to put together an an identity, really trying to make this narrative that, of who she was, even though, Suits, who had heard of it? Like, no one had heard of it. And so this had all been created, all sort of, pushed, because like 2014 to me, um, is a very interesting time. It's also so the actual main focus of that video that TRG focuses on is the fact that one of the slips of the tongue that Markle does, Shapey, is that she announces that Hillary Clinton will be running for president, running for the presidency. Now, no one knew that in 2024, the election in 2016. So how did she know that? How did she know, so this is probably the reason why that video had been scrubbed. So it's also really, really fortunate, very lucky that TRG had found that video. Like, I'm not sure how you find it now, but so it was kind of a little, a gift of synchronicity that this video popped up and that I was watching it, because like my feelings about 2024, again, totally 100% agree with TRG. Even the cards, there was the Ace of Swords. That idea, that plan was really the energy for it was right. So that really resonated with me, what TRG was saying. I'm going to go even a little bit further, and this is more where this is where probably I differ from, from people like, the bookworms, the Celts, because they all have connections, and that's why I love them. Like Bookworm, Celt, TRG, they've all got a connection. They all know different sides of the story, and so that's why I love watching them. And so I don't have any context. I don't know people that know the people, so I it's really weird. I can only go by feeling, and my feeling, and so that's why I suppose the Jamstars also have their own feelings. So I've often, encouraged you to use your intuition to feel. Now, we're not dealing with fact, but we're just dealing with questions. And, what possibly could happen, we sort of, explore our feelings as to what's going on. We just know that something is not right. We know when things are right. We can feel when things are right. That can be confirmed to us. But when things are not quite right, NQR, we ask questions. We have to we use more than just our eyes, And this is why I love Jamstars Corner. It's this ability. Well, it's a little bit of time. It's a bit of time aside to look at things and explore. So 2024, if we go back, because when I think of 2024, we've got this. When we go back, I need to find my little screen. This one. So when I think of 2024, I think of the Invictus Games. And if we contemplate the Invictus Games and what was going on in 2024, I have a feeling, and it's really interesting because we are now in 2026, the stories, the news, the PR pump is all related to another Invictus Games, the Birmingham ones, and all this what's going on, with the upcoming Invictus Games. It's interesting. So, like, we're going back to 2024 to the creation of the Invictus Games. Now, there is a video that I've done, and I will review that, revise. We'll do a summary of this video that I had done about the Invictus Games. In particular, that in the logo Invictus Games there is I am, and we'll look at the kind of the connotation. I know it comes from a poem. I know, but I am is also a very religious, the origin of I am, in terms for Christians, there's a very strong Christian symbolic energy to do with I am. So I am very interested to go back to the origins of the Invictus Games, who was around, and therefore who was in the conversations to do with the Invictus Games. And again, so this is a feeling. I have no proof, right? No proof. It's just a feeling. It's just a question, a guess. I'd have a guess that in 2000, when there were conversations about the Invictus Games, now I don't know, well, I can't see, I was just going to say there is a photo here. So there's a photo here. There's none of those really famous ones, but there is another one here. So could it be possible? Oh, hello, Sarah. Julie? Who can I see here? Michelle, hello. Welcome, everyone. I was just going to say, like, in the conversations to do with the inception, the creation of the Invictus Games, oh, good, you can see my pointer here too. Now, was she around? Was she around in the conversations to do with the Invictus Games, or the handler, the bigger picture, like beyond, the planning, the organization of it? Was she inserted into the family, into this picture, the family, the whole idea of the games? Because it feels to me, and this is why I say to you about feeling and question, it feels like she owns them. Now, it's not, because I believe in my mind, in my crazy conspiracy mind, that a wife, like if you were married, it doesn't have to be a wife, could be a husband, like someone, if you were married to someone and their pet project was something like the Invictus Games, if you were a normal person, wouldn't you sort of stand back and let them, if you loved someone, wouldn't you let them have their little time? Because that's that, especially if they're frail in the mind, if they're damaged in the mind. And, this whole games thing is about damage, about people that are damaged and their recovering and joining society, like, in games and stuff. I find it really interesting. This energy just doesn't correspond. So what happens is that um, let's try. I'm just going to quickly, let's try and find some images to sort of reinforce this. Meghan Markle, Invictus Games. Oh, yes, this is the image I'm looking for. Does this look like the energies in these photos? I'm pausing because I'm just trying to feel. I'm trying to connect with my feelings about this and what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling. One is her inappropriate. I just feel it's inappropriate dress. That's just my opinion. Um, I just don't know what's going on here. Um, yeah, just to Jen just mentioned that the energy is smug, and I certainly get that feeling too. That there's a to me the energy is ownership. Like look at me, like look at what this is her show. Now I know from people like HG Tudor's perspective, they're going, I totally get it. Like that this is possibly how a narcissist would behave in these situations. I get that. Um, and but I'm just wondering that did she have something to do with the naming of it? Um, hmm. Sorry, I'm just looking at the photos as I'm scrolling. I'm just trying to, yeah, see this photo. Wow, like I get like a really strong, and especially because it has I am in the background there. Um, there's definitely an element of the harvesting. They love a harvest, love to, harvest energy. And therefore, that this is another reason for, what did she have to do with the actual idea, the actual, do you see where I'm going? Like her handler, the people behind her, the people, the glitch, remember the glitch, like, that woman. Now let's just think about for a moment. Let's just think about for a moment. I need a name for her. I need a name for that snake. Glitch. If I say glitch, you know who I'm talking about. Glitch and her husband. I'm going to call her Glitch. Glitch the bitch. Oh, I just got a bit of a tingle. Glitch. Jeffrey's glitch. Oh, she can't remember anything about him, ever meeting him. Jeffrey. Jeffrey. Jeffrey, Jeffrey, Jeffrey. Jeffrey. I just need a little bit of I just want to. Let me see. Sorry, I was just. I have to be careful what I say. I just wanted to. Um, the night. So I was just going to say, you know, obviously William was around. When Invictus Games was created, um, William was around because, so I wasn't sure what, in terms of feelings, I wasn't sure what was going on with feelings. The indication is that I get bad feelings, bad vibes, bad feelings about this, what I was just saying there about, were the fights, well, maybe, were the fights that they experienced actually to do with some of these things that happened at, with the creation of the Invictus Games? I just got a flash. I got a flash to do with the original, with the actual jam jar. I'm not sure how I'm going to connect this, but just bear with me for 1 second. I got a flash that the jam jar is connected to Nigeria. Now, someone in the comments, Happink, just mentioned about the Nigerian school. So in the comments, you guys are mentioning Nigeria. Now, which just gave me a flash about Nigeria and the whole purpose of the jam jar. Let's go to, let me just, maybe I can. Guys, I think I can do this. I can split it. Fabulate. Let me just quickly see if I can split. Oh, I can. Great. Let me just quickly. I want to go to no, I want to go to this. So this, I have to try and find my filing because I just, oh, no, I don't want that. I want, oh, sorry. I think you remember when I started, I was doing, this is what I want. I was actually doing slideshows. So they're PowerPoint slides. So this is what I wanted to show you. So this jam jar, let's talk about jam jars and Invictus. So very early days, early on in the whole story. Let me just pull a card. Silver Moon meant, as I'm shuffling, I just read something that Silver Moon, let me just quickly go. He uses Invictus Games to get military contacts for his mental health jobs. Is it better up? Yeah. But isn't it interesting, Silver and Jamstars, that we hear about, so they create the Invictus Games, they're doing all this wonderful work with the Invictus Games, but there's never has anyone found out how much money they actually donate to it? Like, wouldn't the really good vibe be, yes, we created this framework, but now we donate, where people donate to us the money they make, the money that we donate, we pay for people to get there. We pay for their insurance, so they actually give very little. I don't know the exact amount. I just feel that it can't be that much, because if it was, they'd be certainly ringing the bell in the piazza and letting everyone know how much they donated. So isn't that part of philanthropy? Like, isn't it actually about not just showing up? Isn't it about physical, the donation, like the amount of money that's made to enable people to actually attend? Wouldn't that be part of the healing? Like, so here, say this photo, would it, like, this would mean so much more. Let's say if the narrative was, if the media had said, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex donate through Archwell had donated $5 million to Invictus, or had ensured that the $5 million that they donated went to ensure that people had airline tickets to get there. The Duke and Duchess themselves paid for these disabled people that had been injured in the, to attend and participate in the games. And it's through their participation in the games that they are healed, that the healing. So I'm going to go back to, yeah. So it's through their participation in these games that they are healed. Here we go. That's a nice. Can you guys see? Actually, maybe what I should do for these ones is I should just go big. Yeah. So this game, yeah. Doesn't that make more? Wouldn't that make more sense? That if if you're really trying to promote healing, and not just physical healing, but mental healing, that as a patron, I make so much money. I make so much money from this that the money that I make goes to ensuring that my fellow return servicemen can attend these games because I have benefited from healing. I am in the process of healing. I understand how important healing is. So I will donate millions to making sure that these people can actually attend. So I will commit to making sure these people can physically get there. I will take over. I will help them with the burden of getting to this actual event. But that's not the case. Let me talk about this jam and then this bad feeling that we're talking about. So the jam, obviously, to me, in my opinion, is an offering. There's protection. It's in a chalice. The Knight of Cups. Oh, the cup. It's an offering, and because it's strawberries, it's an offering of a royal nature, because we know strawberries symbolically they are the fruit of the woods. Like there are symbols on this jar that relate to the woods, to God, to entities that are wood related. There's lemons here, so they're protected. That there's a protection to do with whatever's in that jar. So I'm going to say the lemons are there to protect what is in the jar, to cleanse the energy around this jar, and to protect or cleanse the energy related to arrow, and the sigil or the sigil, in the logo, the intention. Protect and cleanse the intention of what this is. Now, this is what I wanted. This is what I would like to suggest and question to you. Does she show up to the Invictus Games? Does she show up to the Invictus Games to push? Well, she obviously pushes herself, and she pushes the idea that she's important, that she's with a prince. Because I just got a feeling that the bad feeling, like there's bad feelings here. One of the bad feelings, that this is what this is maybe why it's a bad feeling, is that she's pissed off in the organization of the games, etc. This is just one aspect of her, what she's pissed off about, right? Is that she was never acknowledged that she was part of it. She just wants to be, she wanted to be part of it. She wanted to be acknowledged. So this is why I believe, and this is what's interesting about Birmingham, because I on one level, Jam on one level believes she's not going to go. But on another level, the other half of me thinks she has to, because she cannot resist going to put her stamp on it, to say, on a very hidden level, she is part of it. So she can't resist. She has to go. This is really, really interesting to me. But let's talk about this bad feeling. The bad feeling I just got while I was talking to you, and it was to do with Nigeria. Remember, it was Nigeria, because also this is in here, there's protection to do with this. So protection of the Seigel, protection of ARO, what we know ARO to be, the jam, strawberries are royal, and this, the 50 days. So 50 days after this image appeared on the internet, 50 days later, she was standing in Nigeria, like at the airport. So she went to Nigeria. What I'm going to suggest, if you put spells in a jar, that this spell has to do with royalty. This spell has to do with a title. And this bad feeling that I just realized, and why I'm connecting Invictus and the jam, is that she is really pissed off that she's called a duchess. Just my feeling. Just my feeling. She's absolutely livid that she's called duchess and not princess. Bad feeling. I'm just getting, like, I've just received I'm getting such a wave. I'm getting such a wave. So this is what we're doing right now. We're going back in time. Back in time to how time works. The unstoppable change. So as we progress in time, like as we progress forward, and we do this, I think this is actually something important for us to do, Jamstars, is to go back and understand the process. I think one of the big processes, one of the big things is what I just said to you. I'm getting a very strong feeling that she doesn't like the name Duchess. I know she insists on people calling her Duchess, but deep down, she doesn't like it. She actually doesn't like it. She would prefer, what she really wanted to be called was princess. And this is part of that, the whole goal. Now, if we look at this jam jar and we do actually we contemplate what this actually means and what happened in Nigeria. In Nigeria, she received from the 3 tribes or the 3 kings. They're the 3 main ones, and one of them was the Arachugu people. The Arachugu people, the Arachugu tribe, because they were warriors, gave her a name and a title. So she, I believe, well, I feel very strongly, no proof, don't know, I'm just suggesting to you, and we know now there's all these little things that have come together that there's something here. There's something here that now, just before I started, I was looking at it. I was looking at these photos of Invictus Games because sometimes I just like to watch and sit here in the moment and ask a question of what I'm looking at. Now, these are my other cards. These are the, what are these called? I can't remember. The Oculus Anime cards. Oh my goodness gracious. I do need a coffee silver. The Oculus Anime. I was just looking at that. And I was just looking at these photos. I was actually, I was looking at these here. Can I make that bigger for you? So the card that came up is this. For Harry and the Invictus Games, and there was also Megan there, but Harry, this was too much. This was too much for Harry to do. This wasn't possible. Harry, we need to remember that Harry couldn't have done this on his own. It was way too big a job for Harry to do on his own. Invictus. He'll claim it. Sorry, I'm just going to pick up some cards fell on the ground and I need to just pick them up. Oh dear. Sorry, I'm back. Harry couldn't do it on his own. We all know that. And so the second card absolutely confirms that. The second card was the 3 of Pentacles, the teamwork. This suggests to me that the building of the temple, why did I say temple? Because there's a picture of a temple here. The building of the temple. The people in the background are the people who built the temple. The people in the background are the people that built the temple. And here's the injured soldier that was just about to pop up. The people who built the temple, I want to say something, but I'm stopping myself from saying it because I don't want to excite too many people. But we know there is a person who built a temple, and the reason that we're building the temple and is a subject that I do not like talking about. But it has to do with harvesting, energy harvesting. And I'm just wondering now, are the cards trying to tell me, are we looking at harvesting? Because they don't put money into it. But what are they doing? They're taking something out of it. If you don't put it in, so you put money in as a benefit, you get adoration, you get kudos. You put the money in, you pay for people to get there, they're very thankful, and you go, wow, it's okay. It's about it. It's the art of giving. It's like Christmas. It's not about what you get, it's about what you receive. It's about what you give. These people are giving nothing, zero, zilch. So what are they doing? They're obviously, if you're not giving, you're taking. So what are they taking? Just a Jen is right. I will just say that's what I'm thinking, just a Jen. So, yes. So, yeah, I'll just quickly looking at the, so, yeah, so Silver Moon said Nigeria was the first time she got her own independent title. Exactly. That's what the Jam Jar. See, I love the Jam Stars so much. You connect. And yesterday I had a morning tea. I caught up with they're not relatives, they're paesani. They're people. It's a family that comes from the same town as my dad. They live here, and but they've passed. Their fathers have my dad and her dad had passed away, and we just caught up for a coffee and a catch up. We haven't seen each other for years, and it was really fantastic. And she wanted to ask me because can I tell you? I'll tell you this story. It's a beautiful story. It has to do with, yeah. So I had a dream about her father. I had a dream that I was actually um, with her. We went shopping. She asked me to help her find some fabric, and I took her. So in this dream, we ended up in a fabric shop. We were looking at fabric, and there was this stunning silver fabric, really beautiful, and it was beaded and stuff. And in my brain, I thought, I didn't ask her why she wanted the dress. She just wanted a dress. And then I thought, oh, I'm making her a dress for a wedding. Now, isn't that strange? I didn't know. In the dream, I thought I'm making her a dress for a wedding. And we saw this fabric, and I was pulling it off the roll, and I said, "Oh, look, I'm sure she won't mind." So her name. I said, "Look, Trish, this fabric is beautiful," and she said, "Yeah." And I said, "This would suit you so much." And then we were just talking about it. As we were talking and looking at the fabric, a hand came from the other side of the bolt of fabric and was touching the fabric. Now, I was going to say, "Excuse me, this is our fabric." But I was just about to. I was going to be very territorial. Then I noticed as I looked up from the hand, I saw it was a man, and I noticed that it was her father. And I looked at him and I went, "Oh my!" And I looked at him and I was going, sort of suggesting to him, I was going, "Oh, is that you? Like, what are you doing? Like, kind of like, what are you doing here?" And he was a bit like my dad was a bit of a joker, like so was he. He loved, they're from a part of Sicily. They love to do little funny things, like little not practical jokes, but anyway. And I thought he was just joking around, like as to surprise us that he was there. Anyway, I said to Trish, I said, look who's here. But she couldn't see him, like she didn't notice him. And he was smiling at me and he winked. And I went, oh, and then I went, I was going, don't you see your dad? Anyway, so I remembered this, a couple of days later, I remembered this dream, and I messaged her and I said, oh, hey, like, you know what, darling, I had a dream about your dad. Anyway, and she said, oh, and she was going, oh, heartbroken because he passed away about a year ago. And she goes, I still miss him, etc. And I said, oh, look, yeah. And then she said, oh, and she was please tell me that he was okay. And I said, yeah, he was more than okay. He was smiling. Anyway, so she wanted to know what the dream was. I told her the dream. Anyway, she started bawling her eyes out. She was crying. She goes, I have to talk to you. So she rang me and she was crying. And she's going, oh my God, was he happy? How did he look? And I said, yeah, look, Trish, he was beautiful. Like he was, I'm going to just do this. Sorry, I forgot to do this. I'm going to do this because we need a little bit of light in our life. This one has a wick. So yes. And so she was, and I said, look, yes, he was smiling, blah, blah, blah. And she said, I feel so, she goes, thank you. I miss him, but thank you so much because I just really needed to hear that he's okay. And I said, yeah, look, and I said, Trish, he is around you. And I think this dream to me sort of communicated that he is around you, because it actually made, it was really weird that I dreamt about him, because like, how can I say, not that it's a person in my life, like I would never, it's kind of strange that he popped up. I mean, he popped up because I was with Trish, but it was kind of strange that, yeah, like he wasn't he's not one, he wasn't an uncle, he's not closely related, etc. Anyway, the following, so maybe like a week later, 2 weeks later, another paesano had passed away. One of Dad's friends from his town, another guy had passed away. A guy that we all know because we all come from the same town. And I took my mum to the funeral. It was down, yeah, it was a little way away, so we had to go for a drive. And when we got to the church, like Trish and her brothers were there. And, you know, we gave each other a hug and we're just talking. Now, I had mentioned to Mum, we were just talking, and I said, Trish's dad is with her, like he follows her. He must be looking after her, surrounding her. And she said, oh, that's beautiful. Like, and I said to her, I said to her, like, how, I was thinking about Jamstars. I was thinking about what were things that we've talked about over the course of the Jam Scam. So it is connected to Jam Scam in a way. And I said to her, I said, Trish, I just grabbed her by the hand. We were just talking, and she started crying. I said, don't cry. She goes, no, but now that I see you, like it reminds me of Dad, and you saw him, and you're so lucky that you saw him. And I said, listen. And I said to her, I want you to understand something. And I said, all I know is that your dad's with you. So he's never been far away from you. He's always been with you. And I said, I get a sense, now I have a feeling that in this dream that I said, I think he's trying to send you something, like he's trying to let you know, but you just don't know. You're either, maybe you don't have the confidence to go within into your intuition, but he is there. And I said, and I have a feeling he's going to try and send you a message. And she said, really? How would he send me a message? And I said, and I remembered the Jam Scam, and I said, look for a feather. I said, sometimes my dad comes to me as a willy wagtail. And I told her that. And I said, so could you just keep an eye out for a feather or something? Because that is often how communications occur. Like, there might be a feather. Now, that's because we covered that in the Jam Scam. Anyway, we came home, blah, blah, and then that afternoon, so her mother isn't well. Her mother lives in a home. So every day she goes to visit her mother. And I got a text message. I got a message from Trish that afternoon. I was at home with Mum too. And Trish had to contact me. She said, on my days, I went to visit Mum. She got out of the car. She was walking to the home. Just before she got into the home, she went to open the door, and at her feet in the doorway, on the mat, like the welcome mat to the old people's home, she said there was this huge feather. It was black and orange, black with orange stripes. And she said, I saw this feather as I was going in to see my mother, and I've never seen a feather like this. Anyway, so she showed me the feather. I went onto Google, and I showed my sister. I said, look, what happened? Trish, she just saw a feather. And Lou goes, oh my gosh. She goes, that's a feather of a black cockatoo. And I said, how do you know that? And she goes, yeah, that's a feather from a black cockatoo. So let me just, you need to, I think I need you to see this just so that, you have context. Oh, there we go. Black cockatoo. It's one of these cockatoos. They follow the rain. I don't know if you can see that very well. I will reduce that. Can you see the feathers in this cockatoo's? See the feathers? It was one of those feathers. Like this. Now, the interesting thing is, I looked up, we were looking at, I looked up what the meaning of this bird was for the Aboriginal people of Australia. And it just so happens that this black cockatoo is related to, well, we know that birds are messengers, right? So Willy Wagtail's birds, they bring messages from heaven. But the black cockatoo in particular is a messenger from ancestors. So I had to tell her, I said, this is, I gave her a little lesson. Anyway, Trish, she was so excited, like so overwhelmed that, she said, she goes, I would just never have noticed that. She goes, if I hadn't seen you and we hadn't had that conversation. And I said, yes. So now I need to report that, that Trish does have at her home, she does have visitations from a Willy Wagtail. She never noticed the Willy Wagtail before, but there's a Willy Wagtail in her backyard who pops around and will follow her around the garden. So I thought, there we go. Now I got so sidetracked. But anyway, I can't remember where we were, why we spoke about that, but I just wanted to share that that with you. So I was going to pull another energy card, but yes, in terms of Invictus, I think, well, this is there's energy here. He couldn't have done it on his own. The story, the narration, the narrative is that three people, Harry, Catherine, and William created the Invictus Games. This is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling, yes, there were three there were three teams of people that may have come up with this. And I feel that these people, one of them could have been Glitch. There's definitely Glitch in the picture. If there's Glitch, there's Island. And so I feel like, yeah, and the intention is, it is to help. It is. I'm just going to pop that. That was popping out. That I caught that attention, the color black. The color black is about absorption. The color black is potential. The color black is to absorb. To absorb energy. You give money, there's the giving. If you're not giving it, what are you doing? You're absorbing energy. What do the Jamstars feel? I'm seeing Invictus very differently from what everyone else sees, I think. Well, I don't see it, I feel it differently. There's this absorption. This need for transformation, but it's not positive transformation. it's got nothing to do with the Holy Spirit. And resilience. I'll stop there because these were the thoughts that I was having. They were right. They were coming out of the cards. I'm just going to pop them there. This leads us to the question of, will she go to Birmingham? So, as I said to you, I don't know how to answer this question just yet. I really don't. I would imagine that she would be busting to go, but it kind of, the more logical part of me, the Virgo part of me, would find it very difficult. If I was her, I would find it that it's very, I would feel very uncomfortable going to the UK after everything that I've done with my ratbag husband. I just can't work out why she would go. I know why she wants to go. She wants to go because there's going to be lots of cameras there. It's kind of her baby. But would she actually go? She wants to go because she's bound to him. She's bound to this meeting, this organization. She's tied to it. The decision is tied to it. She needs to go there. So deep down, you're not going without me. I think this is kind of the conversation. You're not going to go get a feed of energy without me. This whole thing is a feeding for her. Feed, you can think about whatever she's feeding on, whether it's attention, the media, like PR, hype, whatever. She's going there for a feeding. The thing that's interesting, though, for these two, and it's the subject that I didn't want to talk about, the subject about the island that I don't want to talk about, that I don't like talking about, and in this situation, it's also connected to children. Like, how will they manage if they go to get this feeding? How are they going to go and get a feeding with another two individuals, the two children? Is this now? To be 100% honest, I haven't seen the latest news. I don't know, like maybe since probably during the week. So I don't know where they're at. Are they going? Aren't they going? Yes, no, security, whatever. As I said, security, we need to talk about the honey. Did I? Oh, it was this one. We needed to talk about, sorry, I just realized we don't have. It was this, yes, I did a little short about this video. This photo. I think, now this happened during the week. So this happened, during the week. And I thought, I do like to have a look at photos that she posts and what's going on. So she did mention that there was some lavender coming. A hint of lavender. So the launch of lavender honey. Pretty much, not much to be seen. But can I just show you then? See in this photo, it's the lavender honey the long-awaited lavender honey has arrived, blah, blah, blah. But the difference is that what I wanted to show you, let's have a look. They're just very, not strange, I don't know. One thing that I'm really drawn to in these photos is I just feel there's something, I feel there's something hidden that I'm not noticing straight away. So I try to look in the shadows where the glitch lives to see, is there something in the shadow that's communicated? Now, I don't know. I feel there's something here, but I don't know. I need to really meditate on that, look at it. There's just, anyway, but when I did this one, I still see the face. Can I just ask the Jamstars that are here, did anyone have a look at this and try and zoom in? Did anyone see what I saw? Silva, you did. Did you? Are you answering? You're saying 100%. Is that answering my question about the image? Yeah, just a Jen, I agree with you. I think there is some cooking going on. Oh, Michelle's just saw it. Now, notice that this honey is also, I'm gonna have to point with this finger. This honey is also in a glass bowl, like the previous one we just saw. But notice that this glass bowl, and I've got a funny feeling that the brass or the metal object that sits on top does not belong on that jar. And the reason I say that is because if you look very, very closely, you'll see that I'm pointing to the screen, but you can't see. I have to do it here. See here at the edge, there's a gap. This metal thing is sitting on top of the glass. It's not joined to the glass. Originally, when I did this video, I thought that this was the edge of the bowl. But the one thing that was very disturbing about that would be that the knot is on the inside of the bowl, not on the outside. So I don't know what kind of bowl this actually is to have this metallic knot sitting on the inside. It's crazy because now, have any of the Jamstars ever seen anything like this in vintage shops? Do we know what this bowl is? I'm just having a look at the comments to see if anyone does share, if they have seen something like this or has any idea what function this knot has or what it could do in a bowl. Obviously, she's put honey in this particular one. I don't know what this would be originally used for. Is it a potpourri? Is it for potpourri, or it could be purely decorative? But yeah, so the metal doesn't appear to be attached. I have to speak in way, I can't be definite about what I'm thinking or seeing because I don't know. The angle's very weird. So I think that this metal rim is not attached. I can see a gap. So I don't know how metal would attach to glass without some sort of, without it, grasping onto the glass. So it's not doing that. It's just sitting on top. Also, the knot. Could this be an AI image? Could this be very good AI? Could it be AI? How could you get that? I suppose I suppose metal gets welded on, but see here, it's kind of it's sort of stuck on the side. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works, Jamstars. Which cards should I use? I am loving the Aurea Concealia this morning. I feel it's an energy question. Could this be an AI image? I'm going to indulge. Because we assume, well, it's not impossible. It's not impossible that these photos could be, well, there could be a photo that had been enhanced by AI, I think. Gold. The energy of creation. As an answer to AI, I would say yes. This is the energy of creation. I think my personal jammy opinion, pure opinion, is that this is somehow affected by AI. Either the face in the spoon is AI, or the brass knot is AI. But let's just go with the Aurea Concealia. What's the word? Not consultation. The advice. The counsel is energy of creation. So that's very interesting, because the knot was the first thing that popped into my mind about the jam jar. And we want this. So the knot was the first thing that popped into my mind about, how do I make that bigger? I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Oh, we can make this smaller. You don't need to see my directory. How do I? Sorry, Jamstars. I am such a Luddite when it comes to. And we'll just make that. Oh, there you go. Jammy. So the knot and the knot in here was something that I thought it really spoke to me about that, the image of that knot and that symbol in her jam on the jam jar. And I'm just trying to find I won't spend too much time on it because, I'll just get, oh, here we go. Oh, you can't view that because that's one of my Illustrator files. There we go. So remember this here, this symbol here, the Celtic knot. I mean, there's many different names for it in history. The buckle of Isis, the knot of Isis, the Celtic knot, the triple goddess. Right. Feminine with horns. And this here, the buckle, the knot. To me, you may not see it. I don't expect you to automatically jump and say, but to me, there's a correlation back to this jam jar. And while we're here, while we're looking at this and looking at the words American Riviera Orchard and discussing the jam jar and what the intentions of the jam were, we've got strawberries royalty, we've got we've got honey royal jelly royalty, bees royalty, strawberries royalty, jar, jam jar, glass jar containment, logo with mirror containment, honey intention with contained in a glass jar with this buckle of Isis. Are you on board? Are you seeing where we're going? The other thing was that yesterday, if I can, when I was looking to do the video, I'll try and find the card while we're talking. While I was looking to do the video and contemplating American Riviera Orchard, and I suspect, my suspicion is that it has to do with the Arachugu people of Nigeria. 50 days later, she was in Nigeria. I'm going to pull that out for a second. And this card popped up. I mean, I did a video about it. Let me just find it. And I was thinking, arrow and this orchard, and the fact that you and I, like we've gone through all the orchard pictures. Come on, Jamie, get it, find it. Come on, cards. Don't tell me it's one of the last ones. Oh, here it is. I found it. So as I was looking at this logo and contemplating the jam jar and doing the video, the Garden of Eden came out. The Garden of Eden. And that made me realize that after all this time, that the word orchard and the Garden of Eden, orchard and the Garden of Eden. Thank you, cards. I just needed that little bit of, a little shove to sort of say, hey, here, notice this. It's very interesting. And then, sorry, I'm getting you're right, Silver. I did need my coffee, but I will go and make one very shortly. Garden of Eden, orchard, logo, the buckle of Isis, logo, the feminine energy, and I said to you the knot with the horns, and the Garden of Eden. So in my little video, I asked you, go and have a look. Google, who was the first woman God created? There was Adam and a woman. Now, you won't find it in the Bible, any Christian Bible, but other religions have this in their Bible as part of the story. And it's the story of Lilith, who was the first woman of the Garden of Eden. And I just realized something, what I'm holding in my hands. Look at what I'm holding in my hands, Jamstars. The first woman of the Garden of Eden is, everyone say out loud, Lilith. The energy of creation, the energy of the sun. Can you see that word? What am I holding in my hands? Just got the. I just received the biggest wave of goosebumps. I'm holding in my hands Arche and Lilith. The energy of the sun. We will, so as part of the revision of the Jam Scam, we will go back to Santeria and the universal energy of creation that comes from the sun, Arche. Arche and Lilith. Now, I pulled this card out because this is a card of the manipulation of the fabric of time. And as I was telling you my little story about my dream of Trish and her father, I said to you that that we were looking at a bolt of fabric. And this is the manipulation of universal energy, of energies, the fabric of time and creation. And I just looked at that. I placed that earlier. I was going to talk to you about it, placed it on the keyboard. And now we have Arche, Lilith, manipulation, energy manipulation. We have a need for lavender honey for protection. So if this is an intention to become a princess, is this an intention to get security, to get protection from lavender? My friends, I'm just going to, I think today I'm just going to leave you with those questions. This is the first of the Jamstars Corner Lives. So I hope that was enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Jamstars. It's so, I just, it's just that I know that you're there. Like I know, I know, and people will watch the live later and, that's fantastic. I just love knowing that, there's a group of you there out there and you're chatting amongst yourselves. And I just feel like life is good. So that, my friends, is a wrap for today. Go forward, enjoy, make the most of your day, and let's try and catch up next week for another session. And it's a little bit difficult, but I am doing it. It's a little bit difficult here because we have internet issues with, what do you call it? The plan that my sister has, so I have to be careful with uploads, but I will get to it. But so can you all say a little prayer that I find that the bathroom gets done in my new place and I find a tiler. I need a little bit of universe help, and the kitchen, and the guy that does that's doing the kitchen can't do it until September, but I need to find someone else to do it. So if you could just light a little candle for Jamie and just ask the universe to send him a little help finding tradespeople so that we can get the Jamstars Corner up and running in my new little place. All right, my friends, take care. Enjoy your weekend. And from me, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being with me today. Thank you.